Hey there, y'all. It's Miss Campbell, and today we're going to learn about finding the area of regular polygons. So remember, a regular polygon is a polygon with sides that are all the same length. So each one of these sides would all be the same size. And then now we're going to learn about a couple of special lines on this polygon. The first one is going to be what is called a radius. Okay, so a radius on a polygon is a line going from the center of the polygon to a vertex. So one of these lines here that I'm going to highlight in this orange color, okay, is a radius. So we're going from the center and we're going to the vertex, to the corner. So that is a radius. Okay, another line that is going to be important for us is called an apothem. Okay, apothem. And so it is a line that goes from the center of the polygon to the center of a side of the polygon, and it makes a right angle with that side. So we only have one apothem drawn on here at the moment, and it's this one here that I'm highlighting in green. Okay, but all of these triangles, they can all have an apothem. So it's basically the line going down the center of that triangle. And if you will notice, you have the radius and then the plural of it, radii, right? They're all making all these triangles, right? And then we also can add in the apothem here. And when we add in the apothem, we're making two right triangles out of this original bigger triangle there. And these two right triangles would be congruent to each other. So we're going to use that fact that it's a right triangle in just a moment here. So now we're going to go on to our next page here, and we are going to find the measure of these angles. Sorry about that. My screen's not quite cooperating with me right now. Okay, so it says find the angles. What we have to do first is we have to remember, we kind of think there's like a little mini circle inside here, okay, like a mini circle in there. And remember, all the angles in a circle, like the whole of the circle is 360 degrees, right? Well, basically, I'm going to start with angle 1, and we're taking the circle and we're splitting it amongst all these little triangles, okay? Like all the triangles made by the radii, right? Well, how many triangles are there going to be? Well, it's how many sides there are, because every side you can make a triangle from it, right? So for our example here, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So to find angle 1, we're going to do 360 and we're going to divide it by 8. So 360 divided by 8 is going to be 45. So angle 1 is 45 degrees. So at the top of all of these little triangles is 45. Now we're going to concentrate on this triangle here. We've got the apothem, and it's splitting this triangle in half, right? So I'm going to draw a triangle here. It's 45 degrees right here, and now it's being cut in half. Okay, this is going exactly in the middle. So this angle right here, which is angle 2, is going to be 45 divided by 2, because it's half of that. So angle 2 is 45 divided by 2. So angle 2 is 22.5 degrees. Okay. And then lastly, angle 3, which is the sky over here, but it also matches over here as well. This is angle 3, and this is angle 3. How are we going to find angle 3? Well, we're just going to concentrate on one right triangle, and we're going to do 180, and we're going to take away 90, and then we're going to take away that 22.5. Okay, So when you do that, you get 67.5. So angle 3 is 67.5 degrees. Okay, and so this process that I've showed you, you're going to repeat this anytime you see this kind of problem and they're asking you to find these angles. You just do the same process. Angle 1 is like a central angle. You do 360 divided by the number of sides. To find angle 2, well, you're going to take that central angle and you're going to divide it by 2 because we're cutting it in half. And then to find angle 3, you're going to do 180 and you're going to take away 90 because it's a right triangle here, and you're going to take away that angle 2 that we found, and that would be your remainder. And of course, there's other ways to figure these out, but that's the most direct. So now we'll go on to our next part of our notes. And now that is finding the area of a regular polygon. Okay, so to find the area of the regular polygon, you're going to use this formula. Big A, capital A, stands for area. The lowercase a stands for apothem, and P stands for perimeter. So to find the area of a regular polygon, you do the apothem times the perimeter, and then divide by 2. Apothem times the perimeter, divide by 2. And so now we'll see here, if I was going to do this one, what I do is apothem in this example, so lowercase a, okay, so my apothem for this problem is going to be 6. Okay, and how do I know it's my apothem? Well, because it's making a right angle and it's going to the center, the middle of that side there. Okay, and then my perimeter, y'all. Perimeter. Okay, to find the perimeter, you're basically going to take the side length and then you're going to multiply it by the number of sides. Okay, so side length times the number of sides. So for this shape, it's a triangle and our sides are 20.8. So we would do 20.8 times 3 because we've got 3 sides. So 20.8 times 3 is 62.4. Okay, so now let's put it all together. So the area is going to be the apothem, so 6 times my perimeter, which is 62.4, and then we're going to divide that by 2, or if you like, instead of dividing by 2, you can multiply by 0.5 because it's 1/2. So let's see here, 62.4 times 6 divided by 2 is going to be 187.2. Okay, next example. Okay, now it says we're going to find the area of the regular polygon. All right, so first thing, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is a hexagon. Okay, so we've got 6 sides. Now, the key difference on this one is instead of being given an apothem, we're given a radius. Okay, we're given a radius. Now, the problem with this, okay, and I'm going to actually draw it over here because it's going to be equal. Your radius is always equal no matter where you draw it. Just remember, you got to draw it to the corner, okay, not to the middle side. The problem here is that we need the apothem for our formula, right? Well, if you're not given the apothem, we're going to have to find it. So what we need to do is we need to kind of draw in our apothem here. And we have to realize that now we've got a right triangle, okay? So we've got a right triangle that we have to deal with. This right triangle. Okay, now we're always going to give you two pieces, like two sides of it, so that you can do Pythagorean theorem, but you can always use trig or special right triangles, if it's a special right triangle, to find the missing side. Okay, so now there's something special about this right triangle. Okay, the hypotenuse is 10. Sorry, that's my dog Olivia. So the hypotenuse is 10. Now be careful over here. You see this 5? That 5 is the whole side, okay? We don't want the whole side when we're dealing with this triangle. We have to divide it by 2. So it's 5 divided by 2, which is the 2.5, okay? And now the apothem is this part that we need. So to find the apothem, we'll do, 2.5 squared plus, and I'll call it A for apothem squared. Okay, I'll even put an A right there, and is equal to 10 squared. So now we're gonna figure this out. So 2.5 squared, so we get 6.25 plus A squared is equal to 100, because that's 10 squared. We're gonna subtract 6.25 from both sides. So A squared equals 93.75. Okay, and now we don't want A squared, we just want A, so we have to take the square root. So I'm going to do the square root of 93.75, which is going to be 9.68. Okay, but typically you can round these to the nearest tenth or so, so about 9.7. All right, 9.7. So we're going to go with 9.7 there. And if it's a multiple choice type question and you round, you're going to choose the answer choice that's closest to it. All right, because with the rounding, it is going to make it a little bit, have a little bit of an error, but you'll just choose the one that's closest. So, and for our answers in class, we'll choose rounding to the nearest tenth for this part. Okay, so now we've got our apothem, and we can also find the perimeter. So now we can find the area. So the area is going to be the apothem, so 9.7, times, now I'm going to do the perimeter, I'm going to do the side length, which is 5, times the number of sides. Well, it's a hexagon, so it's 6. And then we're going to divide that by 2. Okay, so just remember this part right here, this is your perimeter. So now let's do this, 9.7 times 5 times 6, divide by 2. And you're going to get that the area is 145.5. Okay, next example. Find the area of the regular polygon. Okay, this one is going to be very nice and easy. They've given us the apothem. You see we got that right angle there, okay? And then we have our side length, so just plug in. Area is equal to the apothem, so 4 square root 6 times the perimeter, so we're going to do 9.8 times, and then how many sides do we have? We have 6. And then divide by 2. Okay. And if you have an iPhone, I really recommend using the Google calculator or the Desmos calculator that we have included on the assignments to help you with this. So 4 square root 6 times 9.8 times 6 divided by 2 gives us 288 and it's 0.05, so it's going to be 0.1. Okay. And now if you are in pre-AP, you will complete this version of it as well. If you're academic, thank you for watching. I will see you guys in the next one. But pre-AP. Here, this one, I'm going to show you guys how you can use special right triangles or trig to help you find the apothem. So they've given us the radius here, but they haven't given us a side length. So that's kind of a problem, right? Well, it's okay. All you need to do is kind of draw in an apothem here. And then we have to remember, we also can have another radius over here, right? And we need to find the central angle and then like these angles in this right triangle. Okay, so this is a square because it's a regular polygon. So if you do 360 divided by 4, that means each of your central angles is 90, right? So then this is a 90-degree angle here, and if we cut it in half, that means this is a 45-degree angle, and this is 90 here, which means this is also 45. So we have a 45, 45, 90 triangle right here. Well, guess what, guys? We know that for a 45, 45, 90, okay, your hypotenuse is x square root 2, right? So guess what our legs are? They're 7. So I'm using special right triangles to find this missing side. Now, could you use trig as well? Yeah, you could do, like you can do, we have the hypotenuse, right? So you could do sine and you can do cosine, and that would find these other sides for you, okay? Just several tools to use. So now we know the apothem, and then we know half of the side. So half of the side is 7, so what's the whole side? 14. So to find the area, we would do the apothem 7 times the perimeter, so 14 times 4 divided by 2. So 14 times 4 times 7 divided by 2, you get 196. All right, so there you go, guys. That's all there is to it for finding the area of regular polygons. Then I will see y'all in the next one.